I want to take a look at our next story. This comes from WFTS in Tampa. A musician brutally attacked.
10 days later,
my memory comes and goes.
Michael Penna struggles to remember exactly what happened during that short walk from the Hub to the Floridian in downtown Tampa.
As the day goes on, I get foggy. I forget words. I stutter. So, towards the night, I'm exhausted.
Witnesses say a fight broke out near Franklin Manor. Penna took a punch in the back of the head. He fell, his face hit concrete.
ICU, husband in the hospital, brain injury, and I was off and on my way and just praying to God the whole time that he was going to be okay.
A security guard used a shirt to help stop the bleeding. Another stranger stayed with Penna until help arrived. He spent 3 days in the ICU. His wife now desperately wants to thank those two good Samaritans.
I wasn't there, but you were there holding his hand, and you were there with him the entire time, and I'm very, very grateful.
Tonight, Tampa investigators tell me witnesses gave conflicting descriptions for the attacker, but they say they are working credible leads.
The person who assaulted him needs to pay the price for what he did to my husband.
All right, so how do you track down this suspect? It seems like it's a very chaotic scene. This is a musician, finishes performing, just trying to walk back to the hotel. Donald Schweitzer, conflicting reports from eyewitnesses. We know eyewitness testimony is always all over the place. How do you ferret through all of that?
Well, I think you just have to expect that there's going to be conflicting statements from people. People never see the same thing quite the same way. I mean, that's just very common in the courtroom, and police officers understand that. What really needs to be happen here is that the police start talking to the folks on the streets. Normally, the beat officers, the people that patrol that area, know the characters that hang around there, and they probably fill out field interview cards, and they're familiar with the rough people on the street. I think also, like your other guest indicated, that the cameras are very, very important, both the external and the internal cameras. I'd also look to see who was causing problems within that bar. I mean, why would they attack this man? If it wasn't a robbery, that person had a problem with this musician for some odd reason. So I'd want to follow that up as well.
You know, Ted, the way this was described, it seemed like a fight broke out. Fights don't just break out. There's a reason behind it. Is there any way to uncover that reason?
Well, like you said earlier, you just go back to the club to see if there was an altercation or a misunderstanding, a bump.
Now, Donald Schweitzer, what if there is a fight that does break out between other people, spills out, and now completely innocent people are being attacked? Does that make it even more difficult?
Yes and no. I mean, if there's so much chaos that nobody's paying attention to the innocent people walking around here, I guess that would make it more difficult. But then again, if you've got a crowd of people that are fighting, there's more potential witnesses. I think that this getting hit in the back of the head could mean that somebody was offended by somebody else, and maybe they missed. Maybe they got the wrong person. You know, this musician was leaving work at the time. I don't know how he was clothed or, if he was carrying his instruments with him, but it could have been a case of mistaken identity as well.
All right. When we come back, more crime time. We've got some stories, an incredible cold case. We've got an arrest in New York, but that cold case goes back to 1980. We'll talk about that when we return.